Hey guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am. You ain't. How you doing? How you doing? And how you doing? It's Saturday night into Sunday morning, May 18th, 2025. Guys, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I'll tell you what's going on. TikTok seems to be holding Gypsy Rose Blanchard accountable better than the PO. Better than the parole board, guys. Gypsy's been, I guess, asked to shut the up on TikTok. She ain't allowed to talk there no more. Shut that account down. You know why? She was mass produced for what? Bullying! Mass reported for bullying! Because Gypsy is a bully. Bully. And Gypsy saying, I didn't know I didn't do nothing. Everything that I put out there is about buying stuff or making myself pretty. And Gypsy, that's not what you do. That's not what you do. Hello, you can gaslight your minions all you want, but we know what you did. What you did was you told everybody that Ryan's unknown. So, what'd you do? That's like doxing and HIPAA shit. And I don't want to fight with your people. Your people need to find out that HIPAA shit is reporting stuff that was said in confidence to a family member and then going about and spreading it to the world. Yeah, it's HIPAA shit. You know, Gypsy should have looked that up. She's on parole, but the parole board seems to fail and fail and fail. So TikTok came in and said, we got your ass.
I got mass reported.
You talked about, you know, every time you mention Nick in a derogatory way, you have pissed so many people off. Doesn't surprise me. That is bullying. That is harassing. You've done damage to this man that you can't undo. And you've unalived somebody that you can't bring back to life, and you want us to say, so 10 years ago, Gyps, so 10 years ago, but the behavior's still here. So TikTok got your ass, huh? TikTok got you and said, no, you can't do that. And then what? Your minion said, but you gotta make money for your family. She can miss a few paychecks, Bree, unlike the average person that can't. Like, can you miss some paychecks? I'm serious. I'm not laughing. I can't miss a lot of paychecks. But Gypsy, she can miss a shitload of paychecks because Gypsy got paid for a book she didn't write off a murder that she said she didn't commit, but we have proof that she set the whole thing up. So she finally admitted to, I set it up only because, you know, we have proof that I set it up. If we didn't have proof that I set it up, I'd have said, it was Nick. And I wouldn't have done any time at all. That's what Gypsy would be saying. But she can't change what she can't change. She could act like she can. She could gaslight the world. But the facts are the FACTS. And the facts are the facts are the facts. What about Nick? What about Nick and his future? What about Nick and his family? What about Ryan? What about what you just said about Ryan? And maybe that could have cost him his job. What about him and his future? What about him and his family? What about Nick's family? His mom isn't even here anymore. Why don't you stop? And your minions should stop and look. Nick was minding his own business. The guy was looking for love. Gypsy was looking for a fall guy. It's about time somebody penalized her for something here. Because she thinks she's done nothing wrong. And with a bunch of people in her echo chamber telling her, oh, you did nothing wrong. You did. Imagine if Nick was your brother or your son or your nephew. She did plenty wrong. She could have done it herself, and she might have done it herself. For all we really know, because when Gypsy's mouth moves, she's lying. And she's proven that over and over and over again. I don't understand why her minions don't see that, because they choose not to see it. The world is shifting on her, because not everybody's an idiot. And we've caught on to what Gypsy's doing. And even the people that are a little slower have caught on to what Gypsy's doing. So now Gypsy gets to pay the consequences. And Gypsy gets to be as unliked as she's deserved to be unliked. And hopefully gets to get thrown back in prison for the crime that she committed and continues to perpetrate. Yes, she does. Gypsy, I know that you want to speak to somebody from TikTok, somebody alive and somebody real, but they don't give a shit about you. You are of no importance to TikTok. Apparently so unimportant to TikTok that they're willing to take a loss because of you. Maybe morals have kicked in on them a little bit better than the PO boards that have failed. The parole boards have failed when it came to you because you violated your parole so many times. Maybe TikTok just came in and said, you know what? If the parole board is going to fail her, we're going to do the right thing because the right thing is the right thing. Why should you get away with stuff? You have bullied people. What do you think you did to Nina when you talked shit about Nina? What do you think you do when you rally your people to go ahead and dox and pick on other people? What do you think that is? I mean, what world do you live in? I mean, are you stupid? Are you that stupid? I got another question, guys. Seriously, this is a really important question. So, for whatever reason, Gypsy has said that she's going to keep stum on social media. Is it because she was kicked off social media, or is it because it's a month before parole? And doesn't that concern us? That's an MURDER. That's who she is. And she's going to keep quiet and go like, she's going to what, ghost for about 30 days before her parole's up? And we're not concerned? Look at this genius that wrote this message here. Aren't we concerned about that? Oh, that genius might be me. Seriously, aren't we concerned? Like, there's nothing that stops her. She can't help or stop herself. There is a real concern here. A real concern. For anybody that comes across her path, somebody said she had a GUN. Now, she shouldn't have one on parole. And she actually should never have one. Because she already said, in the heat of the moment, rage of anger, she picked up a BBGUN and let it go on her mom. Only to find out that she didn't realize it was a BBGUN. So had it have been a real one, her mom would have been gone. And then it doesn't matter because she did do away with her mom. Is that somebody that should ever have a GUN? She shouldn't even have a KNIFE. Like, this is the person? Guys, there should be real concern when somebody goes quiet 30 days before the parole's over and they're a dangerous human being. And Gypsy, she's dangerous every which way. Every which way possible. Because she just doesn't get it. And she doesn't care enough to try to get it. She will expose her daughter. You know, just look at what she did. We claimed, hey, listen, you could be a better mom. So what does she do? She shows us shit from the baby all over her arm. Supposedly, it might have been her shit because she's into that kink. And then she shows us peanut butter, which is really peanut butter, on a car seat. Because we doubt her as a mom. So instead of showing us real moments, no. She makes up these moments and then insults us by us not knowing the difference. Come on. And then she's got her mindless minions that are feeding into that crowd. Listen, your mindless minions might believe your shit, but the real world with brains in their head, they don't believe your shit, Gypsy. They don't believe your shit. I'm glad that TikTok took you off because you have been spewing nothing but horse shit and hurting people and divulging things that just aren't true. You don't have taste. You're not attractive. Get rid of all the filters. If you think you have the confidence in the attraction, don't use the filters. Show us who you are. We see who you are. We don't like who you are either. You don't like who you are either. Can you control yourself? Can you? What's going to happen when you are all alone? Literally all alone. I don't think you can handle that, Gypsy. Not in a million years. I don't think you can handle that. So if TikTok punished you for your poor behavior, kudos to TikTok. Because they're like one of the very few. And the parole board should actually take a lesson or two from TikTok. Because they got you by your short and curlies. Yeah. Guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Listen to some of this tell me that I'm wrong.
Got mass reported, and I didn't know what was going on with my account, because I'm like, there's no reason that I should have been kicked out of the creator fund, and the reason that TikTok gave me was like violating community guidelines. And I'm like, they're about makeup tutorials, clothing hauls. I'm like, what violates community guidelines of these kinds of videos? So, like, I went back and forth with TikTok, and they were not helpful at all. They're like, well, this is why community guidelines exist, but I don't need to know any of that. Like, I'm getting that's reported out of harassment. What part of that don't you comprehend? I want to talk to a human being.
So for a whole month, you couldn't make money for your family, you know? Like, I don't get... You're not making content about the crime. You're talking... It's just everyday life stuff, so they can't pull that shit where you can't be monetized for a month, taken from you.
Exactly, because, like, if they're pissed off, they're like, oh, she's making money off the crime. No, I'm not. I'm not talking about the crime. I'm not even talking about my mom. I'm not even talking about, you know who, Voldemort. I'm just talking about makeup. I'm talking about clothing. I'm talking about baby products.
Well, clearly TikTok doesn't think you know what you're talking about. They don't think that you know about healthcare, beauty care, toys, babies, or anything. You know, again, your specialty is hiring somebody to unalive somebody and to get away with it, and only doing 8.5 years. And by the way, you making fun of Nick just shows how you just don't know how to read the room. We all know that the guy's in prison because of you, and you're making fun of him. You really need to look in the mirror, because even with all your filters and all the work you had done, there's nothing to look at. There's nothing attractive there. That's why you gotta pull off all the kinky, actual stuff, because nobody wants you otherwise. Without the unaliving of your mom, you are nobody. You sure you want to give Nick all the credit for that? Because without the unaliving of your mom, you're nobody. So you sure you want to give Nick the credit for that?
Oh, Gypsy Rose, a friend of mine, was in her chat. She was just messing around. But then Gyp's like, I'll do whatever I have to do. And I already have What? She ain't supposed to have that? So, there has been screenshots taken, and it is being reported, and it's not by me.
This is what's out there, guys. And Gyps ahoy. Yeah. Be better today than you were yesterday. Not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Thanks, guys.